Who are we here with today?
Matt Bongi. Not the most interesting guy, but I definitely have some fun stuff we can talk about.
Some shit to say.
Yeah. You know,
Yo, have you ever almost died?
that's a crazy jump. Yeah, it's funny because I just said that. I have a funny story. It's actually not funny. It's actually quite messed up. This is interesting. I thought we were gonna segue into this, but so what happened was it was about 2 years ago, like right before the 4th of July. Me, my brother, and two of our friends were fishing in Cape Cod, out in Chatham. If you're anywhere from the Cape, you know there's a place in Chatham in the ocean called the Cut. The Cut's probably the most dangerous place in the area to boat. It's like known. There's tons of swell, like not even just swells, but the riptides there. There's tons of sharks there. It's very dangerous. And somehow our dumbasses found ourselves out there fishing. It was a cloudy day, but it wasn't stormy, and we hadn't really caught anything. It was pretty unfortunate. Like it wasn't like when we get to the point where it like happened, you'd think like, wow, these kids are dumbasses. Why were they even out there? But it was just cloudy. Like, and there weren't many other boats out there. But it was us, and we weren't catching anything, and really cloudy. We had the motor up, so we were just kind of like trolling. And literally it was like a movie. Like a big gap in the clouds comes, the sun's peering down, there's like 100 seagulls in the air diving into the water. So like if anyone fishes, that's like sign number one, there's fish, because the seagulls are diving for the school of fish, and the big school of fish are being chased by bigger fish, which is what we're going for, like stripers. Yeah, so we kind of like put the engine back in. We kind of sped over there. I threw my line in, finally hooked onto a fish, and literally a few seconds after I hooked onto the fish, we turn around and there's a massive fucking like 20-foot wave about to collapse, like about to breach right onto our boat, and the engine's up. So we were like, holy shit. So we were trying to get the engine back in. We had like very few amount of seconds to actually react to this. And the wave, like it just, like you ever body surf, or like your body like kind of like just starts going down the wave, and that's what happened to the boat. And the boat was kind of like surfing the wave for a little, and then it slowly started turning the boat, and then we were sideways, and it catapulted us off the boat. And granted, the Cut is about 2 miles offshore, and we're in the middle of clouds, and all of a sudden like there was fog everywhere. Like it turned into a storm that quick. That's how like dangerous the ocean is. Like people really always say like the ocean's dangerous as hell. Like you really don't know until you experience it. Like it's crazy.
Did the boat capsize?
Boat fully capsized. So in Massachusetts, there's a law. Any boat under 20 feet has to legally has to be able to float if capsized. So like luckily we were in a boat that was less than 20 feet. So the boat did float while capsized. So it was completely upside down. I got completely tossed from the boat. My brother jumped off the boat before it capsized. He saw it coming. Our friend was in the like the cockpit area. I don't even know what to call it, where you would drive, and he got trapped in there. So he was underneath. He was trapped in there, and he had to like wedge himself out. I got thrown off. The first thing I did, like you really like your life instincts kick in, and I kind of blacked out. Like it's wild because I don't really know why I did what I did, but what I did was the reason I'm alive and we're all alive today. Is the first thing I did after we got catapulted was I took my phone and I lifted it out of the water, and I swam back to the boat in the middle of waves. It was like it came out of nowhere, with one arm, and it was intense. And we got back like, so as I'm swimming back onto the boat, my touch screen on my phone wasn't working because the salt water damages your phone super quickly. So I held down the side and I was like, Siri, call 911. So I got a call out. Luckily, I had service. This is weird. I have T-Mobile. You normally like T-Mobile sucks, but for whatever reason, T-Mobile had service 2 miles offshore and no one else did. So props to T-Mobile. T-Mobile should fucking sponsor me and give me a lifetime deal. But I got the call off. And 45 seconds later, my phone goes dead. So we didn't know if they could hear us or like even heard us or knew where we were. So my phone was just dead, gone. No one had a phone. Everyone's phone was dead or in the bottom of the ocean. Like we were just sitting on an upside down boat in the middle of big waves for about 45 minutes. A few things that happened. We were actually like, by the grace of God, I like to think that we were saved by God today and my papa, because in my backpack, I had my backpack with me. I had my wallet, which I still have today. And in that wallet, and it's still in there now, is my papa, my grandfather, we just call him Papa, his funeral card. And that's kind of like been my good memento sort of thing that I keep with me at all times. It just kind of makes me, I don't know, kind of makes me feel like he's there. And I don't know, like I saw my backpack floating 20 feet away and I swam to get it. Like I wasn't going to let that go. I also had like a new pair of Yeezys, but yeah, that wasn't the real reason why I went to get it. And that's
Which ones?
The V2s, the 350s. Yeah, they were pretty cool. Didn't want to lose those, but I actually really just didn't want to lose my wallet. But again, like I wasn't really thinking, like I was just acting out of instinct. And 45 minutes later, like again out of a movie, like a boat comes through the fog and saves us. And it was crazy because the luckiest thing was A, I was able to make the call. B, the anchor popped out when the boat flipped. So it wasn't caught in anything, but it was dragging, which didn't allow us to move too far. And the only reason they found us because they were able to calculate our coordinates from my phone call.
The boat that showed up.
The boat that showed up, they were looking for us. So a lot of our friends were on different beaches throughout the Cape, because we were like, it was like July 3rd, and the next day we were all like going to like, what's the Beachcomber? Yeah, so we were all going to Beachcomber the next day. So like we had a bunch of friends all throughout different beaches, and they told us the next day like Coast Guard and was going off the beach from every beach they were at trying to find us. It was crazy, and the Coast Guard comes up in like a Navy SEAL dinghy, jumped onto the thing. We were just bawling, man. It was like the most emotional thing because I just wasn't really speaking. My brother said I barely remember this stuff, but like my brother was like I wasn't speaking. Like one of our friends was like crying. Like we all thought we were dead. We were just like fuck, like this is it. And I was just like quiet, like accepting the fact that like holy shit. All these movies that I've seen about Lost at Sea, stuff like that, like TV shows, like that's actually happening to me right now. So luckily we got saved because of that phone call, and we come back to shore, and there was like 300 people standing on shore, like 5 ambulances waiting for us. It was crazy. Yeah, man, like to this day, it's like, it's not the easiest thing to talk about because it's definitely like, it's very PTSD worthy. Like I didn't go through anything like it's just like, it's just crazy. Like to think in that moment, like, holy shit, like I'm dying. I'm going to be dead. And it's like, holy fuck, we got saved. It was crazy. It was easily like, I don't think I'll ever have something, at least I hope not have something like that ever. Like I'll never experience something like that again in my life. And I really hope I don't, but like that feeling where you're like, fuck, I'm dead. Is crazy.
When was that?
2 years ago, July 3rd.
What was like the process like once you got on the shore? Like like what was the intake like? Did you have to go to the hospital?
So we chose not to go to the hospital. We just wanted to get home. We were just like, we're done. Like we just need to get home. The biggest thing was to have us sit in the ambulance for about 30 minutes. To ensure that we don't start vomiting up a ton of salt water, because then we would have to go to the hospital and get IVs, because salt water just completely dehydrates the shit out of you. Granted, we did take in a ton of salt water. I did puke up some salt water, but like they can't make you go to the hospital. Mm-hmm. I chose not to. I just didn't want to deal with it. We all just wanted to go home and just like be happy that we're not dead. I didn't want to sit in a hospital for the rest of the fucking day and deal with all that. So yeah, they brought us on. There's actually, it's funny. Like we have the article of the event like framed in one of our buddies' apartments. So like you can probably find it online. The craziest thing though is like if you look up boat capsizes in the cut in the Cape, every single, I'd say about 95% of those scenarios, there's always a person that dies. Every single one is like always like someone's dead. And we were fine, and we wanted to, we actually asked, because we went the next day and we like bought dinner for the people that actually ended up saving us. We found where they worked, and like we went to them, and they said that they deleted the call records because it was so disturbing. They thought they were going to pull up on 4 dead kids because they couldn't really hear us. It was just like muffled screaming. So they were like very disturbed by it, and they deleted it. And so they were like, you don't want to ever listen to that. It's like very disturbing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What, holy shit.
I didn't know you were gonna get in that deep. You said you had a cool story,
I told you, man. Like it's
whose boat was it?
One of our buddies from home. I'm from Westboro, so was one of our friends from
Was
Westboro.
he with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was driving the boat.
How did that go? Like, what does that look like for the insurance or like whatever?
It's very unfortunate. So the harbor master, the next day after like that, later that night after the storm subsided, they went out and towed the boat back. We actually like they had the boat back to their place, but it was just completely just ruined. Insurance wise, I don't really know how much of it is covered, but they ended up having to get a new boat. We all like pitched in to help pay for it, but it's we weren't drunk or high. We were just fishing. So it's not like we were stupid. Like there's this scenario where the only stupid thing is we shouldn't have been where we were because it's such a dangerous area. But we weren't drunk. We weren't drinking. We weren't like smoking weed on the boat. Like we were sober just trying to catch fish. So like it's not like it was a stupid user error issue where we completely effed up and we're like, holy crap, like why would we ever do that? It was just crazy how random it was. I think that was the scariest part is how fast it happened.
So you said that there was about 45 minutes in between the time that you capsized and then you were found by the Coast Guard. Like, did the word get back to your parents that they were looking for you?
No, so we had to call them after.
Okay.
It was very... yeah, we were like, hey, guys, like, we almost just died. Like, I don't know, my mom started crying. My dad was, like, kind of laughing it off. He's like, you guys are, like, at least you guys are fine. Like,
so only the authorities knew?
They were in Florida at the time looking for houses. So they were not even in state. They were, like, completely gone. This is when we still lived here. So, yeah, they were in different state. It was just, I don't know. There was nothing like...
It's good they didn't know, though, you know?
I would rather them not have known because my mom would have gone into an absolute meltdown.
Right.
Wait, so how long was the search? Like, how long was from capsize to being on shore? What was that time frame look like?
Anywhere from 40 to an hour, 40 minutes to an hour.
But it probably felt like...
It felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Like all concept of everything went out the window.
So you guys are like, it was 4 of you.
Yeah.
Right? You guys are on top of this boat, on the bottom, the bottom of the boat is flipped over, right?
Uh-huh.
You're sitting on top of there. You're probably cold.
Freezing.
Are you talking? Like, what is it like?
I don't like. I wasn't talking. One of our friends was freaking out, hyperventilating.
Uh-huh.
My brother does Ironmans. He was like, I'm gonna swim to shore. I was like, no, you're fucking not. It's like, no, don't you dare.
Is that possible, by the way?
2 miles in the middle of a storm?
Can you see shore?
No.
No. Okay.
We couldn't see past 20 feet in front of us.
Wow.
It was very foggy.
Was it raining the whole time?
Foggy. It
just
came out of freaking nowhere. It was wild how fast it came.
So you don't know which direction shore is even?
Not necessarily, no. We just knew the only land, like we were about 10, 15 feet from a buoy, which was like the only sight of anything that we had. The rest was just open ocean from what we could see.
Yeah.
So we didn't really know which way shore was. We had a general idea. I think we were all just like, we just didn't know what to do. It was half figuring out what the hell just happened, and other half was figuring out how to accept what happened. Like, what's next? What do we do? How long are we going to be out here? Are we going to get saved? Is someone going to come? It was just a lot of thoughts and just I don't know, man. It's just it's weird. Like, I know you're asking what was talked about, but I really just don't remember. It was just so. It was all like concept of everything that you know and think you would do in that situation. If you think you would do something right now, if that happened to you, you probably would do something completely different.
Yeah,
Because
you can't prepare for that.
you can't. When those instincts kicked in, which I realized, you just don't. You just do. You don't really think, and you can't really get words out. At least I couldn't get words out. You're just trying to live, and it's crazy that there's people that experience that like all the time, like our military. Like there's people that go through that shit every day. It's like it takes us. It's crazy what it does mentally to you. Nuts. Like I had crazy PTSD for it for about 2 weeks. Like I remember I had my friends over after. Like I got home, I was telling the story. Like everyone was very curious about what the hell happened, and I had everyone leave because my resting heart rate was like 170. Like because I just started freaking out, and I was like, remembering the situation. So it was very.
Wow.
It's hard.
Is that a topic now that like you and your brother and your friends kind of avoid, or is it
No.
something that you like bring up
I
like,
don't-
lightheartedly? Like, hey, remember the time?
I think it gets to at this point it's lighthearted. I don't really like talking about it. I do talk about it.
It's pretty
because
badass.
It's, I guess, kinda. Yeah. It's also like, I talk about it because, obviously, it's a very unique story.
Mhm.
There's not many people that could sit here and tell you that. But thinking about it, it's just like, it sucks to think of because that was just horrific. I don't know. I'm indifferent about talking about it. If someone asks about it or it's like a good topic of discussion, like right now is a good opportunity to say it. Kind of breaks the ice with this whole thing right now. So
Yeah, I was not expecting like that though. Like you,
I
yeah.
told you it wasn't just like
That's
I almost got
crazy.
hit by a car. Like it was like a real story. Like
Don't
That
get
is-
me going on that. We've told it one too many
I
times
know,
on this
you-
Well,
pod.
so I was thinking when you said your parents though, like obviously if you've listened to any Nickel Up podcast, you've probably heard about the time we drove down to Nashville
oh yeah,
and wrecked a car. But
I've that story is
I was
insane.
so I had texted my dad maybe on the ride, like, you know, we're about an hour and a half out of Nashville. I was like, yeah, we're about an hour and a half away, like whatever. And like my parents, like I'm young and like they want to know, but I'm not like super like I'm open with them. I'm honest, like I'm going here. They're like, oh, that's cool, just, you know, whatever. But then that happens and I'm like, yo, shit, like what am I gonna fucking tell my parents? Like that was one of the first things that like came to mind when we're like standing on the side of the highway. And so like we get to the hospital and I was just like, I'm just gonna call my dad. So I just called him and I was like, yeah, like I wanted to let you know that, like, first of all, like, I think I called my mom first. No, I called my dad. I did not call my mom. I called my dad and I was
I
like,
feel like everyone's like, yeah, I'm gonna call my dad first.
yeah. I was like, do me a favor, don't tell my mom this. Like, you know I'm good. Like, just don't tell my mom till like we get to like where we're going later. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Like, it's always just like your parents never want you or anyone just like that you're close with, like family or anything. And my dad was like, yeah, because I looked at your location and like you were in the same spot for a while. And I was like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let me tell you.
We were there for a while.
I didn't even tell my parents until we got back to Boston because like I knew they were gonna worry.
And this was after you had already gotten the
I went
cast and
into the
everything.
hospital.
Well, you weren't fine. Like I was fine.
Yeah,
You were,
but
like,
I knew that they would worry until I was in Boston and they could see me and like know that I was okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that they could see me right after I told them. So made sure we got back next morning. You know, my dad was expecting me to be back in Boston. Gave him a ring and I'm like, hey, I'm back. And he goes, oh, how's the trip? I'm like, well,
I got hit by a car.
yeah. Hey, I got a new case for you on the bright side.
It's crazy, man. I think since we're all sons, we initially will look to our dad to like, because I think from a dad to a son, they can relate to the antics that a boy would do growing up. But I think a daughter would be like, I'm going to call my mom sort of thing. I just feel like it's more of a relatable person because you can relate to them a little bit more.
mm-hmm.
Just strictly because you're a son to a dad and a daughter to a mother. So
You know what I heard the other day, and like I was thinking about this, and I feel like it's true. This is like total pivot, but on the kind of family dynamic is like you're like typically, I guess like girls marry guys that remind them of their father, and then boys marry or whatever date or girls that remind them of their mother in like certain ways. Like
Makes sense. Both my mom and my girlfriend break my balls all the time.
I guess, but
Yeah, I think that's very true in the sense. I think a lot of it is just based on how you're raised, you know?
Yeah.
I think because your parents will instill the morals that they grew up knowing on you. So like the way that they treat you and the way that like the way that you see them treat each other and the way that they treat you is exactly how you want to be treated by other people. I feel like, at least for my family, I don't go to church very regularly, and I should, and I always say I should, but I just don't. I always find some excuse not to go, and I think that's very poor of me. But I grew up in a very Catholic family. My grandfather is a deacon. My dad's father, he used to go to church every single day, like literally every single day. So I think back in like the whole values thing as to what they bestow upon you, I think a lot of that comes from certain things. Like I think of a lot of what I learned from my parents is a lot of revolves around a lot of religion and like religious based values. And I think for me at least, and something I look for in a girl, and I have a great girlfriend right now, and I think that she has a lot of the qualities that my mom has. She's like very noticing and very caring, and always is like interested in things that I do. And I think that just is a lot to do with treating others the way you want to be treated. Just like small things like that, like things you used to hear in grade school, that is a deep value that lies in Christianity and Catholicism, is like treating others the same way you want to be treated. It may not be directly written down in the Bible, but it is something that is heavily practiced. Treating people good, loving your parents, don't disrespect your parents, there's things like that. And I think a big thing for me is when I'm looking for in a girl is like someone that respects their parents. And I've had ex-girlfriends who like I've been around them and their parents, and like they're just like disrespectful, and like they nag at them, and they'll like yell at them and say rude things. And that's just like the biggest turn off for me, is when someone just is like rude to other people that they shouldn't be ever rude to. Granted, like we've all probably had arguments with our parents to the point where we've had screaming matches and like things thrown at us, but who hasn't at this point?
I feel like that's the one thing you can't choose like in life, and like you have to just like accept it for what it is. And like the more of a positive outlook you look at, you view it, the better it is for everyone. And like people just try to act like, oh, things can be different, but they can't. Like you just have to, just it is what it is.
It is what it is. And I think a lot of what tells about a person is how they react to certain things. Like it is what it is, but how are you gonna take what happened, whether good or bad, and handle it and kind of move forward with your life? Are you going to let it simmer and ruin the rest of your day or week or month or year? Or are you going to accept it and learn from it and kind of grow from it?
Yeah, part of growing up is like learning to love your family, like, and like
100%.
getting over the little speed bumps and like just like things that happen.
The things that used to piss us off when we were growing up living with our parents, and now it's like, wow, we're gone. It's like, why was I always angry?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
No, it's like, it's weird to like look back and see the different stages you've had with your family growing up. I remember me and my sister, we had like probably like close to a year where we wouldn't say a word to each other growing up, and we just fucking hated each other. You know, we would give each other dirty looks in the hallways. But then in high school, like, you know, I drove her to school every day, and like we got really close, and then she followed in my footsteps to Penn State. And you know, now things are kind of on the rocks again, but you know, that's how it goes with your siblings. You wake up one day and you hate them, but then the next day they're your best friend.
What's the dynamic like with a brother and sister? Because I feel like I've heard that situation.
Are you an only child?
No. So I have a brother. I have an older brother.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's right.
Me and my brother, granted, we've had situations that you were talking about, but at this point, we're like as close as it comes. So like when you have a sister, is it a little, obviously like that sibling relationship is as pure as it gets. But again, to what I was saying with the father and son and mother and daughter, is it harder to relate to that person and kind of get more? Is it harder to break through that realm of we're siblings to we're like best friends?
So I'm 5 years older than my brother, and like him and I, we're always good. We text every day. You know, we'll send each other like TikToks. We'll send each other, you know, like sports rumors, just everything. We're just always shooting the shit. We'll play Fortnite together. So it's like he's like my best friend. You know, we're always talking. We're going to the Peach Bowl together. He also followed in my footsteps to Penn State. But with my sister, it's a little bit different because, you know, when we go out, like in Chelmsford in our hometown, we'll see each other at the bars because there's only so many spots you can go. And where I'm only 2 years older than her, like, you know, a lot of her friends are my friends.
Yeah.
And then, you know, vice versa. She played field hockey with some, you know, like Bria, we saw last night. They knew each other. But, you know, I played hockey with some of her friends. One of her friends is like my boy Carl, one of my best friends, and he's her age. So, you know, I guess that's always going to keep us close, and like the fact that, you know, we're a similar age. But, you know, just stuff that we don't really need to get into now, we're always going to kind of butt heads over.
Yeah.
But, you know, like she's called me at 2, 3 in the morning and said, you know, Jack, I need help. And when your little sister calls you like that, you know, no matter what terms you're on at that time, you're always going to help her out. So definitely a couple of nights my sister put herself in, you know, questionable situations at parties and stuff. And, you know, we took care of it. So
Nice.
But
It's kind of how I feel sometimes with my brother. I'm good friends with a lot of his friends. It didn't really go the other way for him and I. Like, he was friendly with my friends, but I just think the kids I hung out with were very different from him. At least like the kids I hung out with growing up, and like there's nothing against them at all. Like, I absolutely love my friends, but yeah, I still am very good friends with my brother's friends, and I like to call some of them like my friends now as well. But like we do, and past 2 years we've gone on a ski trip with a few of our buddies from home, and it's like me, my brother, and then like his friends. So I always was like, all right, like I'm just Nick's younger brother at this point. Like, I'm just here. So it was like, I'm only going to go on that trip if my brother goes. Like, I don't like it. Just like, I know it, like I kind of can relate to your sister in that sense where it's like, I think I made my own name. I don't think I had a problem with that, but I also think in that situation, it's like, all right, you guys are friends with Nick. If you guys know me, I don't know. Like, I'm Nick's brother at this point. So I'll go if he goes. If not, like, I'm not just going to go without him because it's like, it just would feel weird to me.
It's interesting. My dad grew up with his mom. He didn't grow up with his father until he was like 18. He met his dad. And he didn't have siblings, but he had like cousins, I think, or like some kind of like cousins and uncles, like kind of around his age. And he again met them later on in life and like was like introduced to a whole new half of his family, which is like, I can't even imagine that. And I think like on the contrary, like he made it an effort to do better, like raising his kids, which like I always appreciate. But like, it's fucking wild. Like, he grew up with his mom and his grandfather, just like living with them, and she did a good job. But like, it's wild.
It's awesome, man. I mean, I think that's crazy that he met him when he was 18. I think that's awesome.
Well, and like the wild thing now, so like, I grew up knowing my grandfather. We would go like to Christmas with them, like they were in Jersey, and like, you know, I didn't know when I was a little kid that like my dad didn't grow up with him. Like, I was just like, oh, it's my grandpa, whatever. But like now my grandparents on my dad's side, and so like he remarried, and my dad's mom, who he grew up with, died before I was born. So like I knew my grandma Olga, who I love, I'm not technically related to. It's my grandfather's new wife. But I knew them as my grandparents, and like they moved down to Puerto Rico because that's where she's from. And like now, like my grandfather is like not doing too well, like whatever. And my dad doesn't really care. Like it's kind of like my mom cares way more. She's like, you should call your father, and like he's just like, yeah, like, he never called me.
Yeah.
But no, family is. It's interesting that we're talking about this. We thought we were going to talk about like current events and
Yeah.
stuff, but
We
we're
got
getting
deep.
deep right
I don't
now.
know. I feel like that's how it is.
No, it's a
man.
great conversation too.
I think that just goes to show you how much of an impact parents have on your life. And I think it only makes us realize as time goes on when we have our own kids how important it's going to be to kind of how much different our lives are going to be. Like we have to be totally involved. Like we want to be involved. It's just like a whole different chapter to your life. And I think that just goes to show how much our parents maybe, like I think we all have good relationships with our parents. Like that just goes to show you how important it is. Like all the shit that they did. Like I know my mom gets on my freaking nerves a lot, but it's out of love. Like she'll like nag and like remind and all this stuff. But it's like, well, they just love us, and it's interesting.
I couldn't imagine like raising kids like right now though.
No,
with, like,
I
TikTok
would
and
die.
shit. Like that's god.
I can't do it, man. I'm scared. The generations right now are in an absolute pit. It's kind of a shame to see.
Kids are fucked.
I feel like it can only get better, but like
I don't think it's getting anywhere better anytime soon. I think it's only going to get worse.
See, I feel like a lot of I think that like the generation before us who like, you know, there's like the gentle parenting they call it, and like the iPad kids. Well, I think that they created that generation thinking that it was okay. So like the kids that are growing up now, like they're kind of fucked. But I think that where, you know, people who are our age, we grew up, you know, still going outside and without iPhones and, you know, like playing in the dirt. And I think that we realize like how valuable that is. So I think that, you know, we're going to, like, our generation for the most part will instill those same values like in our kids, because we see how fucked up it is now. And like, we're going to make a conscious effort to like not, to not have that again. Like, I think my kid's not gonna fucking have an iPad, you know, at dinner
100%.
when I'm taking him to the 99. You know, like
100%.
Taking a kid to the 99.
That's a New England staple, bro. Like
I was
growing up, like some of my fondest memories are at the 99. Like I don't remember what fucking food I ate. My grandfather used to take me there.
He used to rip Outback Steakhouse.
We used
Outback
to
sucks.
We used to
It
always
does
go.
suck, but it's a staple.
So like I grew up in the fucking like not even like I grew up in like a hippie lesbian town in Western Massachusetts. And you know, both my parents, my dad's from fucking Jersey, my mom's from New York. Like they grew up very different than that, but they decided, and they lived in Boston for a long time. They decided that they wanted to raise their family in the country, which I'm very grateful for. I'm happy I grew up there. But like I fucking like I would like, dude, the families, the amount of fucked up like parenting that like happens in that town. Like there's no 99, there's no fucking, it's like we're going to the farm, we're going to like eat some carrots and like, you know, playing like the grass or some shit. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean I grew up in suburbia, so it's like it's just everyone knew each other, everyone knows everyone's shit. And I wanted to say this when you're talking about, I know I'm going back on it, but to what you were saying about how you think that our generation will like change the scope of how kids are going. I think for every generation, there's two different sides, right? I think you have people like us who agree that stuff sucks. And I think that the generation before us with the gentle parenting, I also think that there's parents that didn't do that. And I think it goes both ways. You're going to have a good chunk of people that allow their kids to do all that. Like, I don't even want to get into it because I know it's like I don't know what realm you guys want to talk about. Like I can go deep on the whole like.
Go for it,
bro.
I think
nothing is off limits.
I think there's gonna be parents that like us that raise your daughter or son to be a real woman and or a real man, and then I think there's gonna be the parents that are that right now are sad excuses for men and women. I think that it's sad to see what's happened to our generation in terms of the dating sphere. I think that is a big impact as to what's going to happen in the future, because I think I don't mind dating apps. I'll circle. This will make sense in a second. I don't mind dating apps. I think they're good for a little bit, but I think they diminish social skills. I think that our generation is so asphyxiated on image and things like that like they're gonna raise. I think just our generation is gonna have weird ways of parenting. It's either going to be people like us, which I'm sure in past generations there's always been people like us that are like, we're raising our kids the right way, the old-fashioned way, the way that you turn a boy into a man and a girl into a woman. And then there's going to be parents that are in this like asphyxiation with how they look and their image, and like they read too much in the news and they get their fucking news from Instagram or Twitter, and they don't know how to learn for themselves, or they're just going to go by what they think they should do because they think it's the right way, and they don't actually know, or it's going to be trendy, it's the right way, and they don't actually know what they're doing. They just are told what to do, and they don't have any knowledge as to if it's good or bad. And I think that turns kids into what we see now, where there's like very disrespectful young kids. There's kids, no kids are out, there's very few kids outside playing now. There's kids on TikTok.
Kids don't trick or treat anymore. I
No.
just found that out this year.
No,
What?
there's no trick or
There's
treating.
like bullshit now.
There's
it's
like
called
nothing.
It's called trunk or treats.
There's like nothing.
Basically, what they do is a bunch of people go into like a parking
Oh,
lot.
fuck
And then they
that.
bring it. So like usually they charge admission for the car, and they'll bring in like a couple of food trucks, and they'll have like a fucking live band.
Gentrified.
There's just
ass
nothing
Halloween,
anymore. There's
bro.
just nothing.
I know.
Like there's no child. It's just it's. I play video games a lot, and I'll admit that any day. But I'm at a point where I could fucking play video games all day if I wanted to and be fine. Like who gives a shit? I just don't. It just doesn't matter. Like you need to have a childhood, and kids these days don't
You
have a
play
childhood.
video games all day,
The last like 2 days, I played like probably 7 hours of Fortnite.
and you got one win.
I did.
man.
Finally, you did.
You,
You
Sorry.
played a ton too.
if
I
that
played like way less than half of you.
if that is
Yeah.
what makes you happy, man, I think it's a good thing. I don't think video games are a bad thing. I know that's can easily be proven wrong, and I don't really care. I play games as an escape and a way to get my mind off things. And if you work hard all week or the last month and you want to take a day to just veg and be a bum, then so be it. As long as you get what you need to do done, I think as men we could make that decision to be like, I want to take a break and just chill.
Part of me wants to like we've been watching Yellowstone a lot. Have you
I've
seen
never
Yellowstone?
watched it, and I've only heard good things.
It's
but
amazing. Watch
I
it.
get too deep into shows.
I know.
That's
same,
what
but
we're doing.
It's
Like,
so good.
It's
dangerous for me.
It's very dangerous. But part of me like wants to just fucking buy a ranch in like Montana
Wouldn't that be
or
awesome?
Wyoming
Just get a
and
bunch of ATVs.
raise my kids out there. I think it would be so hard. I would make an emphasis to also introduce them to civilization. And like we'd go on trips. We'd take the jet, go on a trip or some shit like that, go to New York City or something. But no, I don't know. Like I think like raising your kids or just like raising a family like on like a farm or like in like off the land. And like, we'd probably buy some food and
So
shit too.
that's
We're
your
not, like, hunting
dream.
and
That's
stuff,
like your
but,
dream scenario.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be really cool. I don't know if it's feasible. And like if it will be feasible in, I don't know,
Why wouldn't it be feasible?
10 years when I want to have a family. I just don't know what society will be like. I don't know what my personal like work and business would be like.
Yeah.
I would love to be in a place where like
You can do that.
I can step away from like work and like like I'm able to set myself up for when I want to have a family where I don't have to work as much and I'm able to be there for like my kids and like grow up, like watch them grow up and help them. But I don't know. I just think that'd be fucking sick. Like just watching those shows and like also not even watching the shows, but like reality. Like I've gone on some like road trips and like drove through like Texas and like even Utah and Colorado and Wyoming and like those states. Like it's so peaceful and quiet, and you don't have all this bullshit that like any city, no matter what city you choose, any city's gonna have so much bullshit or like some like bubble neighborhood that you choose to live in the suburbs or somewhere else.
I'm not gonna lie. I freaking hate road trips.
Really?
I hate driving.
Yeah, I get terrified.
love driving.
I'll never go on another road trip again. If it's more than 4 hours, I'm booking a flight from here
I
on
just
out.
can't. It's just too much.
Where
man.
have you gone on road trips?
Okay, well, I've never gone on like an actual road trip, but like I've driven from Boston to Florida.
That sucks. That's the worst road trip to do. That's the fucking East Coast. The East Coast is the worst to drive.
Dude, I hate being in the car for even like
okay,
30
fair
minutes.
enough. So I drove the first like road trip that I did was Austin, Texas to Salt Lake, Utah. And it was me and my friend. We were going to go skiing and we had the trip planned for 3 days. We get to Albuquerque, New Mexico, 10 hours into the drive. We left Austin early that morning. We were supposed to stop there, get a hotel for the night, whatever. And then go to Moab the next day and then go to Salt Lake. It would be 3 days. We get to Albuquerque, sun setting. We're like, we're fucking booking it. First of all, it was sick. We drove through all of Texas. It's flat. It was just like beautiful, calming. Like we're listening to country music. It's just a vibe, right? We get to Albuquerque. We just keep going. We get to Moab that night, which was supposed to be our day 2 drive. So we were exhausted. But like we ended up waking up in Moab, which we weren't planning. And then just Arches National Park was like, that's what's in Moab. And we had the day. So we just went on a hike. It was like probably one of the coolest places. It was the coolest place I've ever been in my life. It's
I would
like
love to see
Mars.
national parks. I will agree.
And I don't know. There's something just about picking up. We had this planned, obviously, but just like picking up and hitting the road with like one person, or you know, a couple people, whatever it is, or even by yourself. Like my dad used to drive around the whole country by himself with his dog. Like that's fucking sick. And that part of the country, the West, like Texas, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Montana, you name it, Idaho, Wyoming, whatever. Like that is the most beautiful land like in the US, like some, you know, in North America, and like it's just meant for like the roads are so sick.
I've driven through I think Montana and it is really cool. I will agree.
So
it is
sick.
cool. I've driven from like Colorado to Parks, like my brother lives in Denver, so I've driven
Okay.
from Denver to Park City for
Yeah.
a ski trip, and we had to drive through I think it was Montana or Wyoming, one of the two. And it was really beautiful. I will agree. I do really want to see national
The East
parks.
Coast sucks. Driving the East Coast
terrible.
was fucking terrible. I'm with you. I will totally just hop on a flight, go like anywhere on the East Coast, but West Coast driving is so much fun. And like there's also the Pacific Coast Highway that goes
I've
on
driven on that.
California.
Yeah,
That's
it's nuts.
sick.
It's cool.
Yeah, like come on, road trips.
I
are
guess
cool.
I don't know, man. Just not for me. I'd rather just get on a plane and go to Mexico, just go to Cancun, go to an all-inclusive resort, and just call it that.
Oh man.
I don't know. It sounds more ideal to me. I just hate being in the car. It makes me want to shoot someone. Yeah.
Sometimes being on a plane sucks too, though. Like if you're stuck on the runway and it's not taking off, or like you're waiting a taxi so you can pull up to the gate.
I don't mind that at all, man.
I hate that.
I hate it.
I
I have
also,
such a
like-
short temper, like on flights like that. I get so antsy.
You ever
You have a
s-
short temper, but you're also short, so you fit in the plane seat. I'm like, I do not fit in the plane seat, so like,
Dude, I'm miserable.
it's
I have
not my
to have an
temper.
aisle.
It's just like my knees are like killing me. I'm just like, oh my.
You ever have someone yell at you for reclining your chair?
Oh yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I just do it.
No, I'm saying, have you ever had
No, I'm
someone
not gonna
say
listen.
something to you?
I'll just fucking.
I've had somebody say something.
I've
to
had
me.
someone yell at me before, and I laughed so
It's-
hard in their face.
I mean,
I
like,
said, "Are you kidding me? You think I'm gonna put my chair up?
just
Get-
recline yours too. Like,
just
it's
move
not a big
yours.
deal.
I paid for the shit."
I don't know. I fly Delta. Like, there's not really much riffraff on there normally.
Shout out Delta,
Yeah,
the official airline of Nicola Media.
totally.
Is
yeah.
it really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've
Mm.
only flown Delta and Spirit once, but
Yeah, we
You don't
talk
need to
about
talk about that.
We don't talk
that,
about
that.
that.
That airline's an absolute
Dude.
joke.
when we flew Spirit, like the thing like almost crashed when we were coming back from
What?
Costa Rica. Remember the landing back in Fort Lauderdale?
I don't remember that honestly.
We dropped like. It was
I
very,
don't remember that.
Alright,
I think honestly, I love Delta. I'm like the biggest Delta person. Like,
he's a
but
whore for Delta.
I am a
points.
Delta whore, but there is no difference in the actual flight. Like, the only differences are the luxuries, and if you want to get from point A to point B, and you don't care about the time that it takes, because a lot of it, like Spirit and shit, like they get delayed and whatever, like it doesn't fucking matter. But the luxuries, the customer service, the way they treat you, everything that I do care about, like Delta checks all those boxes. JetBlue's okay. United's okay. Americans, the flight attendants are fucking hot on American though. I'll tell you that.
See, I just rip it. I just go on Expedia.
They
bro.
know what they're
Just
doing.
find the cheapest flight. I don't really care. I've never cared about that shit. Like, we know people that, and there's people that care about like first class. Like, I'm gonna get in the lounge. Like, I just.
Well, now I
don't
get
care.
upgrades though because I fly.
No, that's like the nice part, and I will say, like, I just don't. That shit just doesn't matter to me. I've never cared about that. Like, just I'll sit in the back of the plane. I
I'm getting
don't
there
care.
at the same time.
I just want to get there. I don't care. I'm not gonna drop like an extra $200 to sit to say I sat in first class and get like a little thing of wine and think I'm like the man. Like I just don't care about it, dude. Like, I'll fly
Fair
economy all the time. I don't care. I don't really care about any of that, and I don't really fly that much as is. Like I only really fly when I have to go home for holidays to see my family, but that's really it. I don't know. I'll never care about that stuff. But I do think being able to accumulate the miles like you guys have done, it's money.
Sick.
It's money.
I put him on. He's not. He's
I'm getting there.
Oh, you have credit card points.
Yeah,
Did you have like
a
120,000 miles?
Yeah,
or
I have a bunch of
something?
debit.
It's
I have a
crazy.
fuck ton of Amex points.
But no, I want to fly one day. I want to get my pilot's license.
Nice.
And I think it'd be sick to like own a small plane that I can fly.
Yeah.
I think that eventually, I haven't looked into it that much recently because it's not like a realistic thing right now, but like electric planes are fucking sick. And like right now,
Electric planes?
yeah, so like right now, if you learn to fly a plane, you're learning on like a Cessna from like the 1980s, which I just think is kind of like counterintuitive because it's a 40-year-old plane that like very limited primitive technology, right? Sure, you're learning how to fly a plane, but whatever. I would think I would love to, when the flight schools get like electric planes in the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years maybe, learn on that. And that's much more similar to like something that I would like buy. And
I didn't even know they had electric planes.
I mean I think they're working on it right now. I don't think it's like mass market yet, but I don't know. I want to just fucking fly my own plane, take the like Jonathan Jones on the Patriots. I worked with him on some stuff recently. He's got his pilot's license.
Really?
And yeah. So like basically the Patriots were not good last year and he was like finishing up.
Not good this year.
Yeah, they're not good this year. But he was finishing up his pilot's license, like training, and he didn't tell anyone because he didn't want like that to be like an excuse for like not that he's responsible for them not doing well, but like he didn't want to get shit for it.
I know.
But now like he kind of finished it up in the off season and everything, and like he flies planes.
Probably
so like
takes him all the time, all the players.
He flies like a small plane. It's like it's a Cirrus jet.
Uh-huh.
And it's a really safe, like small plane. He can put his family on there and like
that's sweet.
Fucking hop around. And he's
awesome.
from the South, and like if you're from like Georgia or Alabama or like South Carolina or any of these states or Florida, there's a million little airports, and like these planes that you're flying, the little ones, they don't have a ton of range, but you can just hop around. And if you need to go from, let's say, Tuscaloosa to Miami, Florida, you might need to stop in I don't know.
Up.
Yeah, like Jacksonville, not Jacksonville, but like Gainesville on the way or something like Atlanta, Gainesville, and you just make these little hops and you're flying yourself down there.
That'd be cool.
Sick.
That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, that's the
even
dream.
to have the money to be able to be like, yeah, I'm buying my own plane.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
I don't really care about a boat. Like I would rather buy a plane than a boat, to be honest.
I don't know.
I don't know. I would get a boat. But
Bongi doesn't want a boat.
No,
No.
I do not want a boat. I was gonna say that's the last thing I want.
we're gonna get kayaks for the Boston for the
Really?
Our boy has a spot out in Boston Harbor for his boat, so we're gonna tie kayaks up to it and then just take them out. You should do it, dude. You live right next to the beach. You could take it out off M Street.
Dude, you're gonna use those like 5 times and be like,
No.
"Why don't we buy 'em?"
No, I think that would be like.
I'm gonna use.
I would make it a point to like wake up early and go do that. That's so sick.
It's so sick.
Fair
In the
enough.
summer, it's nice out.
If you do it, then
Dude, I would like wake up literally every single day. I would like
Not every day.
not every day, but I would wake up. I would go out there, like bring a fucking joint, watch the sunrise. Like that would be
pretty
sick.
awesome.
All right,
Can't
we're
really
gonna
go-
clip this next. I don't know, October when it's cold out, and see how many days that you did that. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
no, I'm
We
gonna
need to
want.
make,
I'm gonna
like-
want to know like when this happens, right? Whenever I want to hear this, and I want to mark the time.
I know
And then when
realistically, if I did it, I would do it more than 5 times, like you said. But there's no chance that I'm doing it every day. I could not do that. But
it's a lot. Man.
it sounds amazing, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but
So I want to ask you. So this is totally different than what we were just talking about, but I know you guys have gotten pretty heavily into or at least getting really heavily into the gym. How's that going? Like, what's the goal? What are you looking for? And just what's the hardest part? I'm just curious on how it's going for you guys. I love that.
Well, I texted like our trainer Darren asked us. Shout out Darren. Program's been great, but he texted us and he said, "What are your goals in the gym?" And I told him I am strictly training for aesthetics.
Okay.
So like I just want to like look good at the beach. But I was kind of kidding about that. Obviously broke my arm, so trying to regain strength there and kind of even my arms back out and keep the mobility up. So he's been like working that into the program as well. Honestly, like the hardest part is getting all your protein in for the day. Trying to match our body weight and protein. And then
It's hard for me. I'm a big guy.
It's up, like, it gets up there, and sometimes you just don't want to eat that last chicken breast or whatever.
Yeah.
But
It's tough.
It's good that because like we're on the same program right now. So
Yeah, although you fucking worked out today without me.
What?
You worked out right before this, and I wasn't even here. You didn't even tell
Sorry.
me. Like, I don't know.
You were playing house with Lucy.
No, I was going to Costco to get us groceries. Like, dude, come on. No, I don't
We're
know.
playing house.
Fucking.
I think it's awesome, man. I don't think any of us are gonna sit here and tell you that we're the big guys or like we're ripped or anything. Like I just think you gotta go, man. I just think like I went way too long without going to the gym. Like when I lived in Florida after college for a year with my parents, I was so unmotivated. I was just so like I hate to say it, but I was just depressed there. It was just so depressing. I loved being with my parents, and I think that was a big reason why I got super I was always close to my parents, but I think growing up I was a little more removed. And I think anyone in my family would tell you that, but I think like being forced to be there, I don't want to say forced, I think it's a bad phrase, bad term to use with
Probably
that.
felt trapped.
Yeah, I kind of felt trapped there, but at the same time like it kind of got me a lot closer on a more mature level with my parents. So I definitely think that was good. But while I was there, I just had no motivation to go work out. I ate like shit, man. Like, oh my God. Me and my dad together are a terrible combo with food. Because we would pig out together. And it was bad for a while. And he lost a shit ton of weight. And he looks way different, and it's awesome. But when I lived there, we were a bad combo together because my mom on some Sundays like she'd go to work, and obviously my mom's a nurse, so she doesn't, it's not like she has the weekends off, so she kind of just works whenever they have her. My dad and I it'd be Sunday, we'd be watching football, we'd be like, all right, let's go and get some supplies, drive to Publix, it's the grocery store there, and we would scoop. Oh my God,
sub.
man. We would get so much shit. We would
Buffalo
get
chicken pub
TGI Fridays, potato skins, buffalo chicken boneless bites, jalapeno poppers, like French fries, and we would just go nuts, and we didn't really think anything of it. We would get like a pepperoni stick and just split it. Like I'll take a pepperoni stick and just eat it right up from, I won't even cut it. I love it. It's like a weakness to mine. To me, but dude, like I gained so much fucking weight there. Like I've never been overweight, and I still to this day don't think at that point I ever was like overweight. Just for me, like I was about like 120 pounds like sophomore year of high school. Like I didn't hit puberty till late, so I was really skinny kid. I've always been really skinny, but I actually like ballooned up. I weighed like 206 pounds before I moved here, and that was like a lot for me. And I was just like, I felt like shit, man. Like I couldn't like walk upstairs without being gassed, couldn't run. I was like vaping all the time, and I don't vape anymore. I'm like 4 months clean of vaping, so I think that's a big W for me.
Just Zins now though, right?
It helps. Yeah. I think it's better than
vaping. Fucking that's like
That
one of the
was bad, dude.
that's one of the. I have a couple things like non-negotiables for like girls, but like that's one of the big ones. Like if a girl's vaping, that is one of the most revolting things that that can be possibly
Nah.
done.
It's funny because now I look at people when they vape and I'm like, gross.
It's nasty.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's like I can't believe I did that for so long.
When we were at Mater's, like Taro started like ripping a vape. He was like,
Yeah,
"You
he's
can't,
like-
you
he's
can't
like,
rip
"Not
that
in
in
my
here.
apartment."
You can't rip that in
Yeah.
here." And then she's like, "Why?" And he goes, "Why?" He goes, "Because like you're a pretty girl. It's gonna just fucking ruin your life. Like what does it do for you?
Yeah.
You're just not ripping it in here." And I loved that.
That was really
It's
good.
awesome.
You're
I
just
think
putting her in her place.
the most addicting thing for me with vaping was
Is it like the movement? Is it like
yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. It's
Yeah.
it's the like
you're just like sucking on something?
That's
huh?
why I get in
it's the,
trouble with
it's
my
the
dad then.
fixation.
You like sucking on
And
something
it's like
hard.
it's all right, bro. Don't do
Dude,
that. You're such a fuck, man.
I mean, I couldn't relate. Like I don't know. It's just
No,
pretty weird.
you are right though. That is what it is.
But you haven't done it for 4 months, so good for you.
Yeah, it's helped a ton. Especially with working out.
Nice.
It's definitely like
I think I would
got me
I would,
feeling a lot healthier.
I would say the same like with Jack too. Like on the eating has been the hardest thing with fitness, and just like I'm always like kind of like been like to eat good foods, and like good to me is like healthy, like organic, high quality foods. But when I like started to like actually think about it, because I used to just not think about it. I used to just eat whatever it was. When I started to think about it and intentionally put more protein into my body and like really just focusing on protein, because that's what we're doing, I was like, this shit's fucking hard. I would never, like, I have to make a protein shake now. I have to make more eggs, just more turkey bacon in the morning. Like, I don't know.
I think for me now, I'm very used to all the protein. I think it's like gets to a point where it just feels natural. But I think the hardest thing, and I would say that this is even harder than in eating as much, is the extra smaller things that you wouldn't really think of, like like a dressing, like a sauce, like the oils that you use, the amount of fat content that a lot of those have. Like fats aren't necessarily the worst thing. I think it's just a matter of what fats you're eating.
Yeah.
But I think though that's, to me, is the hardest thing. Because I've always been able to eat a ton. Like I have no problem eating a shit ton of food. I could eat.
Stuff,
I'll eat like a pound of steak for a meal, like pretty easily, with like 5 potatoes and like 30 Brussels sprouts, like no problem. But I think for me, it's like I got to make sure I'm using good oil. I don't want to use like shit oil. I don't want to put on. I want to make sure like if I'm like I can't just eat like plain chicken. Like you got to make sure you season it. You got to like put sauce on it. You got to make sure it's like low calories, like stuff like that. Like
Fucking freak doesn't like sauce though.
But I think that I wish I didn't like
I
sauce.
just don't like sour cream or mayo or anything like that.
I wish I didn't like sauce, because it would make things a lot easier, because then that's a lot of calories that you're missing that you could fill up with other things.
Yeah, I'm not at that level yet where like I mean I think I still like I'm very into like avocado products. So I like avocados. I love eating avocados and organic avocados, but like avocado oil and stuff like that, where like I have a chipotle mayo that I use on like that I put on my eggs or like other stuff a lot. That's like my go-to sauce. But I think it's like a pretty like high quality, like the ingredients that go into it.
You
Like
just make
I'm
sure
not using a
there's
ton
certain
either.
small ingredients like palm oils and like all those
Yeah, fuck
oils, like
that.
like partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. That's really bad.
Nasty.
Yeah, man, it's just.
I know when I eat like bad food too, because I'm
You
used to
feel
eating
it.
good food. Like I just had a chicken bake from Costco. I actually feel gross.
You feel sluggish.
I feel like that was nasty. Like
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just not
The hardest
the
thing for
energy
me-
of the
yeah.
like
Dude, it's crazy, man. It's crazy what shit like that does for you. I think the hardest thing for me was cutting out pasta. For
you
sure.
cut out all carbs or just pasta?
Not all carbs. I think carbs are. I like to eat before, like in the morning. I'll have like carbs with my breakfast. If before I have like a pretty intensive cardiovascular workout, I think it's important to like charge your body up really well, because you're probably gonna burn over 1,000 calories easy from like a really highly intense workout.
what kind of workout?
I think it depends, man. Like if I'm doing like if I'm either going for a run or I'm going to do like a boxing workout, I'll sweat a ton. You lose so much sodium and you burn so many calories because it's like very cardiovascular. So I just think that is like the hard thing, man, is like was cutting out that, because when I carb up, it's like I'm ready for like a really intense fucking workout. Like I'll eat carbs in the sense like I'll eat potatoes. I'd rather have sweet potatoes, but I like
Sweet
red
potatoes
potatoes.
are
I
so
like red
good.
potatoes more. But those are like the only carbs that I've been eating lately has been like potatoes and rice. And
What do you have in the morning though?
depends on the day. Like when I work at the office, I will on some days I'll just most days it's 4 eggs, and some like turkey bacon or like turkey sausage. That's
Yeah,
it.
That's my go-to.
Yeah.
Throw a little avocado on there. Call it a day.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh man, dude, I can go on about food forever. I think that I really like, not that he'll probably ever watch this, but my coach for boxing fucking saved me with food, man. Like I was at a point where I kind of plateaued from like a diet I was doing and I couldn't lose more weight. And he like really is smart as hell, man. He's like a trained nutritionist and dietitian, and he really like got me on some good stuff, man. And like it's crazy because like I could still eat the amount that I want to. He's like, you can eat a ton of calories if you want. He's like, you just can't put bad shit into your body. He's like he eats like I eat like over a pound. I eat like a pound to a pound and a half to 2 pounds of like steak, chicken, beef protein a day, and it's like,
What do you have for lunch? Just like walk us through that, like your whole day.
oh man, dude, I'll have 4 eggs in the morning with some sort of protein, with some sort of meat. Before lunch, I'll have either 2 hard-boiled eggs or a 2 hard-boiled. It's kind of a tongue twister. 2 hard-boiled eggs and a Greek yogurt, and then lunch. Depends on what the guy at the office is making. Like if I'm at home, I'll make a can of tuna with light mayo and some mustard, or I'll have like rice cakes, stuff like that. If I'm at the office, it depends what he's making. If he's making something that I don't really want to eat and it looks like shit, I'll have a salad. That's it. I'll have a salad, but I always like, I think salad's kind of a fucking myth. There's literally no nutritional value in lettuce. Nothing. It's water. The only nutritional value that you're getting from eating a salad is if you put meat on it. If you go out to dinner and you get a salad with no protein on it, you literally just drank water. So there's no nutritional value to lettuce. So if I do eat a salad, I'll put like a ton of chicken on it. That's it. Like I don't really, I don't know, man. I just I eat very boring. It's very boring. I eat the same shit probably every day. And my roommate also like put me on this too, man. Like both my roommates are very heavy into the gym, very like strong, like ripped guys, and they like are big motivations for me too. Obviously, like my brother is a huge motivation for me too. He runs Ironmans and does all this crazy shit that I could never even dream of doing. So he's a big motivation. My roommates too, like they are very strict with what they do. Like they are very strict about what they eat. So it's I think living around that has also been like a huge push for me too, especially being in the kitchen. You could lift 7 days a week and eat like shit. You're not going to see results. So it's really figuring out the food aspect is like crazy difficult, but it was really good. I think, yeah, like what you're saying, like my food schedule it's very basic. I'll eat the eggs. I'll have a lunch that's varies, give or take, depending on if I'm working from the office or not. Dinner is either ground turkey, steak, or chicken with, depending on the carb, I'll have potatoes or rice with some sort of vegetable. That's it every night. And it sucks. It doesn't really suck if you switch up the meat, but like it gets very drawn out.
We gotta start a nickel up cooking show. I feel like that'd be lit.
Dude, no one would watch my cooking show because I cook the same fucking thing every
So
day.
in the like in our building, we have like a bunch of grills up on the roof, and so once the weather's nice again, we're gonna be up there
Yeah,
every night.
We did that a little bit, but
And
the
it's so
weather was
nice
kinda
too because
short-lived.
you don't have to clean up. I mean, obviously we're cleaning up the grill, but like clean up on a grill
So much easier than dirtying
so
like
much
a million
better than
dishes
fucking
here.
doing your dishes.
You guys,
and
I
all
didn't
that.
wait. So you have grills at this place too?
Upstairs,
Mhm,
yeah.
Because
And
I
they're way
remember
better
your
than
old
your
place.
old place.
Your
Yeah.
old place had the grills in the side, like the side patio. Sort
Right.
of
Way
thing.
better.
They're
Yeah.
way better here. Like
And
these
there's
are
three of them upstairs.
That's
they're good
incredible.
grills.
Mhm.
It's beautiful
Damn.
They have
view.
TVs up there too, like couches with heaters.
TVs, you can
Yeah.
connect your phone, play music. Like it's great.
Was I up there?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Is it an outdoor space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't go outside.
You didn't go outside.
No,
You were
I
there for
that's
Friendsgiving,
where it
though.
was for the Friendsgiving,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
That it was.
And you can
in
cook
that outdoor
inside there
spot.
too. You
They have
can
the
cook
oven
in
No,
there
I
too.
saw like
that we
I
used,
know
yeah.
I remember the
Yeah.
inside. I didn't go outside. It was too cold for me.
Cool.
I was also tired and high,
Yeah.
so
Huh.
it's not
Well.
really feeling going outdoors.
Nice. Well,
Well,
awesome.
Yeah, thank you. That was actually really good.
It was fun.
That was a great podcast. I'm
That was
glad.
fun.
I'm
So
glad
So
we
we're
did
trying
that
out
one.
like a few different things. So
Dude, I think it's good to shoot the shit every once in a while.
Character
It's just-
development
like,
for us, like just introducing
but I also think
people.
you know like I don't really like to shout them out, but like I'm not like the Nelk Boys podcast. Like when they have the podcast where it's just like them talking, I think those are the most entertaining ones.
Yeah, fuck the Nelk Boys.